Court, the movie podcast where Sean
and Gary
watch it, talk shit, and most importantly, eat shit. We are the law. Guess what we saw?
What is it? The Life Aquatic Man with Steve Zissou?
Yes.
Is that it? Okay.
It's The Life Aquatic 2, starring Jason Momoa and his brother. Beware, you got water.
I got that.
Don't kick your water. We watched Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom.
I guess that was the subtitle.
I would prefer an Aquaman 2.
I think you're right.
I feel like almost every sequel now is Spider-Man, the thing of the thing.
Yeah.
Or X-Man, the thing of the stuff.
I thought they'd call it like Into the Aquaverse.
I wish.
You know, something like that.
I wish they would. They don't have the balls, though.
No.
Gary, first of all, welcome.
It's
such
so
a
good to be
have
here
you
at my house.
at your own house. You got your pillows kind of match your hat.
That's my Muppet pillow. Used to be a Muppet. We taxidermed it.
What was the name of this Muppet? Oh, this is kind of big. Was this Big Bird?
Yeah, that's a piece of Big Bird's ass.
It smells good.
It's not bad.
Y'all must have cleaned it.
Yeah, she used Axe. Is Big Bird a woman?
Hey there, I'm Big Bird. I don't know. Could be, maybe.
Could be anything. These, in this day and age, man.
You tell me about it.
Yeah.
Men are women, women are men. Big birds are big.
Some men are
turds.
fishes.
Some men are fish. Whoa! I didn't realize it. Is Aquaman 2 a commentary on the trans agenda?
I think it is.
They're coming for your kids. They're gonna make them wear, I don't know, Hawaiian shirts or some shit.
Yeah, that's it.
They're coming for your kids.
They're gonna make him get a mullet.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
The gay agenda's after. We watched Aquaman 2, starring Jason Momoa and Amber Heard and Dolph Lundgren and Nicole Kidman. And what's the name of the guy?
Martin Short.
Yes, Martin Short is
He's in it.
What's the name of his brother who plays Orm?
I can never. I just think Hard Candy guy.
He's in Hard Candy. He's in Insidious.
Yeah.
He's in The Conjuring.
He's kind of a rat-faced sort of
Yeah,
guy.
he's kind of a rat-faced guy. But I love him.
And there's plenty of cameos from sharks and other fishes as well.
There's some hammerhead dudes.
I like the hammerhead guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you the plot. Before we get into what we feel about this movie,
Okay.
this is what happens. Aquaman is back in business, and he's got a little kid who pees in his mouth.
That's the only thing the kid does,
Yeah,
really.
that's what we learn about the kid, is that he pees in mouths. And sometimes Aquaman's wife
Peas in his
sends
mouth as well.
the pee. Well, yeah, essentially.
yeah.
She uses her water powers to send the child pee into Aquaman's mouth, which is a funny bit. We can all agree.
It's a pretty classic bit. I've seen it done many times.
You don't see enough kid piss in people's mouths.
I mean, that was like a big bit in like 90s movies.
Yes.
It was like just a baby peeing, and then it would stop and then start again. And then, yeah. So I like the new spin on it with her curving it into his mouth.
Yeah, she did like a Bennett like Beckham thing.
And I like, too, that he like sort of kept his mouth open anyways because, he's got to do the bit. But it was like, man, you would have closed your mouth already.
Yeah, I would have instantly... I would have gone...
Yeah. No.
Actually, I have never and hope to never taste a child's urine. So I don't... It might taste good, but I would guess not.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I had to go through my mind to make sure I hadn't, and I have not.
You have not?
No. Maybe my own when I was a child. I saved some from when I was a child and then drank it as an adult.
Oh.
So but that's fine.
And how was it?
I mean, it tastes great.
Yeah?
Surge. I was drinking a lot of Surge back then.
I wish. God, I wish we had some surges right fucking now.
Surge seems like it'd be a good partnership with Aquaman, honestly.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can see them bringing him back for Aquaman.
They should have surges. They should have volts. Wait, vault?
Vault.
They should have, they should bring back, what was the cola one? Jolt? They should bring back Jolt.
Yeah.
All of these sodas.
Nolt.
Nolt.
The Nick Nolte drink.
Yeah. Bolt, the Usain Bolt drink. Those are all the ones.
I can't think of any other old words.
Colt 45.
Yeah, that's a good drink.
That is a good drink. Yeah. And you know what happens next?
What's that?
Once the pee is all dried up?
What?
There's trouble. Black Manta is back, but this time he's trying to do secret science shit. And he has found weird shit under the ocean in the Antarctic. And you know what? You know what caused it? Climate change, baby.
It's real.
This movie is about climate change. And of course, it's in a fantasy movie because it is a fantasy. It's not real. We all know that. But they find under there, eventually, they find a black trident, which was once held by the city of Necros or something, right?
Yeah, it was like... Yeah, it was Necros, something around there.
And what is the king's name? His name is like Krongdros.
Yeah.
Karngars.
Something evil.
Yeah. And what he did is he got the black trident, and then he turned all of the people of his land into demon monsters who are green. And they go, I'm a skeleton. And then there's a big fight. And... you know what? Old Aquaman, he's like, man, there's only one way I can do this. I need my brother who I imprisoned at the end of the last movie.
Yeah.
And so he gets them. And together they hold hands. And they maybe literally do hold hands at the end.
I think they did.
Pretty much. And they begin to cry. And they use the power of Nicole Kidman's love to bring them back together. And then they decide not to kill people, but a lot of people get killed anyway.
I mean, that's how life is, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Heavy shit.
I mean, it was a heavy movie. Probably one of the heaviest movies of the year, frankly.
I mean, it's one of the few ones that is like, oh, maybe there are some bad things about climate change.
Yeah.
It's one of the few movies this year that has said, we're facing a huge crisis that we're trying to ignore, but we can only ignore it for so long.
It is weird when you see it in a movie like that. It almost feels more fake in a way. Where you're like, oh, that's Aquaman world.
Yeah.
That's not us.
We're not dealing with that on a daily basis.
Oh, thank God it's just a movie.
Yeah, I mean, if it was real, like Tennessee would be having tornadoes in December.
Yeah, man.
But we don't.
No, not at all.
We did not have that, Gary. The listener knows, we did a podcast about the last Aquaman.
Yeah.
Many years ago. You can go back and listen to that if you haven't.
Reach out to me about that episode.
What do they say?
To this day, they're like, that was a really heavy episode. Covered a lot of heavy topics.
Y'all shouldn't. I mean, I guess it added to it, but y'all shouldn't have had like razor blades at your wrist the whole time.
Oh man!
But we were like, we're fucking real, man.
You know,
fucking Joy Division, baby. Fucking hell yeah.
Depeche Mode.
Yeah. Love will tear us apart, baby.
Owl City.
10 million fireflies.
That should have been in this. Yeah.
The music in it is insane.
Yeah, that's where my mind was already going.
The music is fucking insane. They play more than once Born to Be Wild.
Yeah.
Which I guess has come back around. Like it was so overused. And
in the
then
90s,
yeah, and then it hasn't been used in so long, and now they've used it again. And I think it works in that it is so ridiculous that they shouldn't do it, but then they do, and you go, okay.
I could see Momoa insisting it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we gotta have Born to Be Wild, and it's gonna be fucking sick.
It'll be cool, man. Yeah, I'll be like riding my motorcycle on the beach. In slow motion, and they'll be Born to Be Wild. It'll be fucking cool, man.
Which I was going to say, that's one of my favorite parts when he's riding the motorcycle on the beach, because you see him just like stick his tongue out, and you're like, they weren't even rolling for the movie. He's just doing his thing, and they were like, oh, well, let's throw that in there. Good. Yeah.
He's having fun. How did you feel about this movie?
I enjoyed it. I mean, it's one of, like, It had my intention the entire time.
Sure.
And I was like enjoying it.
Yeah.
But then I would like kind of stop myself every few minutes and be like, do I even remember what happened a few minutes ago? And I was like, nope, but I'm having fun.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to tell. I liked it. I think I liked it better than the first just because the first was so much setup.
Yes.
And this one was just like, let's have an adventure.
Yeah.
I liked the brothers together.
The bros.
I mean, it was such a better dynamic than the first one.
Yes.
And I'll say, too, I do not like these kind of movies at all. Like,
No.
I never see the Marvel stuff. I don't care.
Smart.
I mean, if people like them, that's fine. But, like,
I think
there's
any more
nothing,
people don't.
I'm not into it. But I like Aquaman. I know nothing about the comics.
No.
I just love ocean vibes, man. It's Pure Moods, the movie. I love it.
He is the most lovable of all superheroes.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one that feels like us.
Yeah.
Like all the other ones, just like, well, none of these people have ever had a life like mine. Mm-hmm. And even though like they go out of their way to like desperately try to prove that like he is like a regular guy, he's like, yeah, I like fucking burgers and goddamn beer and shit, which is like very generic. But
Frisbee golf, man.
you believe him. You absolutely believe that those are the things he likes.
Yeah.
Man, I like a juicy burger and fries. It's like, yeah,
Just
man.
wearing a jersey, man.
Wearing like a midriff bearing jersey. I like cut half of it off so that my abs show. It's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, he's lovable.
I agree that it's I don't remember most of what happened.
Yeah.
But while it was happening, I had a good time.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that is bad about so many of these movies is that they're all roughly the same. Mm-hmm. And this is also roughly the same. They're all, roughly the same. But this one has enough, like, completely insane, stupid stuff that it really makes it fun.
Yeah.
Like, there's just, like, underwater bands.
Oh, yeah.
There's, like, cool... there's an octopus friend that they have.
Topo.
Named Topo.
Which Topo is great.
He's awesome.
I love the way he talks.
And Aquaman also has a enormous, glowing, like a seahorse that he rides.
Which that one just came out of nowhere in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Because like when they take off and he's the one in the front and that thing's just like waggling side to side, it just looks so stupid.
It's very stupid.
It looked like a My Little Pony seahorse.
Yes.
Like very kind of pinkish white.
Yeah.
Purple.
And then Aquaman. But it's like maybe 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the size of Aquaman.
It's very big.
It's an enormous seahorse. We could we could talk about the many things that happen in this movie, but first we must talk about the very best things that happen in this movie.
Right. I got mine.
I've got mine as well, but I wish you would go first, Gary. What is the beef lamb gyro of Aquaman, or the salmon shrimp gyro of Aquaman 2?
Well, I was sitting there during the movie and I was like, this is not going to be as good if it does not contain one particular scene. And that is an octopus playing the drums. And they came through again with the octopus playing the drums.
He absolutely did.
Like, he shows up, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. You
and it's
guys
like
know
a different dude, too.
Yeah, it was. I think it was more like a squid or something. But he
was amazing.
Tearing those drums up, man.
He had weird, like, neon rave symbols or something.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
No, that whole scene was pretty great just because there was lots of like Star Wars-y type shit in this. And then it's just cool to like see the bar. It also reminded me of The Fifth Element a little bit.
Yes.
So that it's like I love seeing that. It's like what are they entertained by in this world? And it's just weird music.
They like kind of underwater grunge sort of shit. Like if Hole had Beyonce as the lead singer and the drummer was a squid.
Yeah. And the instruments were all like bubbles or something.
They do drink liquor out of bubbles.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell in the bar.
And then I'd say probably my second favorite thing overall is the old tech, the Metropolis feel that it had.
Oh, yeah.
It was very cool. Even the people that were like piloting the Hammerhead ship that had the like Metropolis type shit. I just thought all that was really cool. And I really like those like squid bots that they use.
They're so awesome.
They're kind of like the squid sort of from the Matrix in a way.
Yeah.
And then they kind of reminded me of Half-Life, like Half-Life 2, the game. But like, I just thought they were really cool. They had like so many different ranges of movement and like usefulness. I thought that shit was really cool. I thought there was like some pretty thoughtful stuff in this movie, surprisingly.
It is weird.
Because even like, so those things could, of course, swim underwater.
Sure.
They could use the arms to grab stuff.
Yeah.
They could act as propellers, like as almost like a fan boat or something.
Yeah, and they also kind of the way they moved was really cool. There's like one set of 4 that went one direction and one set of 4 that went the other direction, so they looked really cool.
And that looked awesome. And then even there was another little thing when there was like a scene of them getting out of them, and the guy's using the legs to climb down like a ladder, and I was like, they thought this mechanic through. It's pretty cool.
And they're also flying above the water using an almost like little helicopter blades.
Right. So I thought
really fun.
I thought there was I was surprised at how thought through and thoughtful some of this was.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. It was a real movie.
It was a real movie. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it was nonsense.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
We're not there yet.
Right.
I have like a 2-sided beef lamb gyro.
Okay.
Now, they're both Orm related. Orm is the brother of Aquaman. One badass thing. Most of my favorite things in the movie are either badass things or silly things.
Yeah.
And this is a good dichotomy because Orm, when he is discovered, he's been starved of water. The skeleton creature men, they've only been giving him a small cup of water.
Yeah,
because
a paper cup. Which they somehow have paper cups.
Yeah, of course. Their skeletons have paper cups just like us, and they also have weird skeleton drill horses. They have like lizard. They're kind of lizard skin, but their backs look like the bones of a stegosaurus. And then their teeth can also spin in directions and use as a drill through stone and stuff.
A multi-purpose animal.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Orm, he just ain't got no water, and so he's weak as hell.
Yeah.
He can barely walk. He can shoot some lasers, but for the most part, he's weak as hell. And they've been doing some chases. They've been riding the skeleton creatures. They've been kicking skeletons in the head. They get up above the sand, and they see the ocean. Norm's like, oh shit, here we go. And they're both running towards the ocean, and the skeletons are coming, and they're like, oh fuck. And you know what? Orm doesn't have the power. He can't get there. And there's 4 skeletons, and they all have big spears, and they're coming for him. They're so close to killing him. The spears are above their head, and then whoosh, the water comes in and splashes him, and he does like a wah. He flies into the air. He steals one of the cool spears, and he beats the shit out of everybody. And it's just like, oh, yeah. And he's also a big muscle man again.
He's jacked.
And you're like, yes.
Yeah. That's why you should drink water.
I love his hot body. He's so fucking hot. And I love that.
It's very cool.
Very badass. Other side. The way they deploy it is really nice. There's a bit with Orm running. That's very, very funny. At first, you sort of notice it, like he's running.
Yeah, I noticed.
And it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then later, like they really feature it. They're like running from enormous grasshoppers, man-eating grasshoppers. what's
There's
happening?
A lot of movies in this movie.
Yeah, there's so many movies in this movie. Yeah, of course because Black Manta is using ancient poison he's using ancient poison to destroy the atmosphere so that the earth gets hotter, so that all of the ice around the ancient evil king melts.
A real old lady who swallowed the fly type of situation.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, in addition to screwing many things up, this is also sped up evolution.
Yeah.
So there's like 20-foot tall man-eating bugs, and there's 27-foot tall man-eating flowers and bug-eating flowers. And Orm and our buddy Aquaman are running away. They're like, I don't want to get eaten. And we show Orm running, who is doing essentially a Naruto run.
Yeah.
He's not swinging his arms. He's holding them behind him. And Aquaman says, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, I've never run before. And then he quickly teaches him how to run. And of course, he starts swinging his arms. And then he goes fast as fuck. It's just a perfect little bit. It's so much fun.
No, I thought that was great.
In general, I thought the smaller stuff or the mid-sized stuff was better than the big stuff.
For sure.
Like there's a moment when Black Manta is wandering into the throne room of the evil king, and like these green flames are kind of flaming up, and he walks through these huge doors, and there's like a big way up top shot shooting down when the doors open, and like things that have scale but not to the level where you don't understand anything anymore.
Right.
Often work pretty well. Like that scene, the design of the stuff is really cool. The way the flames turn on is really cool. Like the way the ice is in the room is nice. Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean,
like
that's
that kind of stuff.
the smaller and mid-sized stuff is a lot better just because it feels more real every time. It just gets kind of cluttered. Like, I was honestly not really excited for the ending battle just because I was like, it's going to probably be kind of a mess.
Yeah.
And the stuff outside kind of was, but
yes,
the stuff that happened in the throne room was like, this makes sense. I can see what's going on.
Yeah, it's one of the big problems with all of these movies is they have they have like such big, they have to do big things now because every one of these movies has big things.
Right.
But the scale has gotten so big that it's just nonsense. It's just like...
Yeah. Which, especially in the ocean, it's like, I mean, it's already like very cluttered with all the like fish and stuff in the background, so it is kind of hard to follow. Like I was thinking when I went into this movie tonight, I was like, I'm not gonna even think about complaining about CG and all that stuff. It's like it's a waste of time at this point.
Yeah.
But I was like, I am going to see if I can tell what's going on when some of the crazy shit's going on. Like, I'm going to really try to focus and understand and see if there's a reason why it wouldn't make sense. Like, there's a part where the brother gets thrown on a bar and the bartender like does something, but it was so fast. It was like, man, if I really wasn't trying to focus, I'd probably miss what was, happening.
Yeah, there's so much shit like that where it's like just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Like, I really focused on the part where, like, Amber Heard's chasing the guy through like the speed highway thing.
Yes.
Which I thought was really cool. I thought it was a cool concept. But I was like, I'm really going to have to pay attention here because there is so much on the screen. Like,
yes.
I mean, you're looking at the screen and there's probably hundreds of characters and vehicles on the screen at once.
Going.
Yeah.
Yes. That sort of stuff is... not the best. But I thought of one good thing. So Black Manta has a hammerhead vehicle. It's a submarine, but it's got the shape of a hammerhead, which is awesome.
Yeah.
They all have cool outfits in there, as we said. They have like weird leather outfits that sort of remind me of... they almost feel like weird 60s sci-fi.
What is that, Journey to the Moon? Or
yes.
Kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Yeah. But on the Hammerhead ship there is some kind of sound laser machine, and it makes people's ears hurt.
Yeah. My ears hurt.
And they keep saying that it affects their nervous system.
Yeah.
Which is great. Oh. At one point, Momoa, I think the people who write it know that Momoa is just sort of a silly man, so they write him dumb things to say.
For sure.
Because they know he'll say them perfectly. And at one point, he's like, yeah, well, they have already mentioned this, but he's like, yeah, well, if it affects our nervous system, then maybe we need to find a sound wave that's louder than theirs. It's like, what the fuck?
It's like
sometimes
you need an idiot to figure something out. It's because, like, what if it was bigger?
Yeah. And his solution is awesome. But before I get to that, the first time we really see the power of the sound ray, the Hammerhead and Black Manta are storming the castle. They're trying to get into Atlantis, and they use it on one of the death rays that are outside of the wall. And then the laser big death ray on the wall begins to collapse, and then it blasts like 50 or 100 different ships that are trying to get inside, and it's pretty badass. But what's really badass,
the homies are going to show up.
What's really badass is when the homies show up. We know that Aquaman can speak to the fish.
Yeah.
And they make fun of it a few times, but also it's awesome. And his little baby son can also speak to the goldfish.
I was dying at that,
insane.
man.
Fucking insane.
Oh my God, he's talking to them like I do.
I always wanted someone to share this gift with.
Which I was cracking up during that scene when he sees his son talking to the goldfish. I was thinking, because the goldfish are all looking out of the aquarium at him, I was picturing one just going, and just smashing his head through the glass.
That'd be amazing. I must get to you, master.
Yeah.
But later, they've decided they're really going to get Black Manta this time. And their method is pretty smart. Everyone has gone on their side thing, so only unimportant people are left on the Hammerhead submarine. And Aquaman, of course, holds the trident in front of him. And he does his mind waves to speak to the fishes. And you know who shows up? Every goddamn whale in the city.
Probably every whale that exists at this point. Yeah.
Every fucking whale in the city. They surround the ship, and they begin to use their sound rays against it. They're like,
yeah.
Yes, they begin to yell, and the lady who's the captain is like, what the fuck is this shit? And their big reactor begins to like shock and spray sparks everywhere.
I want to cut the head explosion from Scanners in that.
I mean, it's not far off.
No.
Because everyone in the ship is destroyed by an enormous explosion.
Which there was one body in particular that got nailed by that explosion.
Yes.
I mean, it was insane looking.
Yeah. It's funny in a movie like this that is like most of the deaths are sort of like skeletons.
Right.
Or monsters or fish creatures or something like that.
They straight up got murdered.
Yeah, these are just like 50, 60 different regular humans. Now, they're not good people, but they get blown to bits. Yeah. And they're dead.
I was thinking there were like a few kind of like darker moments than I expected from this. Like even the dead giant rat was somehow really disturbing.
It was gross.
It's because you don't really even see its face, and like dead rats just look awful.
And it's bloody.
Yeah.
And then out of its we assume out of its stomach comes a bunch of weird, huge grasshoppers. It's gross.
And then the baby sacrificing thing was pretty fucking heavy
really
for a movie like
fucked
that.
up.
Yeah.
Like it's a movie that creates stakes.
Yeah.
I mean, the stakes are I'm going to kill your son.
Right.
And use his blood to release a demon lord, which is pretty cool.
I mean, if you're going to kill a kid, at least get a demon out of it.
Yeah. I mean, these days, killing kids comes cheap. But don't be like one of these lame-ass school shooters who just kill people for, I don't know what they do.
Do it for an underwater
flat.
city that's in the Arctic.
Yeah.
And Antarctica.
Antarctica.
But yeah, there was some darkness in it for sure.
Yeah, well, our boy James Wan.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay, let's start talking about negative things.
Okay.
I'll think of more good things probably as I talk about negative things. My main negative thing I've already mentioned. My low main is just nonsense.
Yeah.
The big stuff is like, oh, there's people flying and they fly off of things or through things, and you go, okay, and you just kind of want it to be over, or for them to zoom in.
Right.
Like when they zoom into people like punching and that stuff is kind of fun. Or even when it's like zoomed into not that huge, where it's like Aquaman is throwing a big hook at somebody.
Right.
Or Orm is like spinning anchor and throwing it at a big squid robot. Like, even that stuff that is like, stuff is 30 foot tall, but not 5,000 foot tall.
I liked that section a lot, actually. And I think it was because it was like, this feels like the right size.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the shit is just completely unmemorable just because it's like, well, okay, so there's an army of 5,000 crustaceans.
Right.
And they're fighting 5,000 monsters. And they really ignore that.
They really do.
It's almost like they know that it sucks.
Yeah.
But they were just forced.
I was happy.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I was very happy.
Yeah. They ignore all of that. 4 people go into the throne room.
Right.
And then that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
basically.
It's pretty silly. Because they spend, like, the whole movie is like, oh, he might unleash the dark forces of the thing. And then they're like, well, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah, we're not going to do
like,
that.
What do you show?
Yeah.
Stuff that is that big is just, like, almost impossible to reckon with.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, well, do we somehow have to have, like, a counter?
Right.
That shows, like, oh, there's, like... there's 6,010 monsters left, and they're slowly going down. It's like they're shooting lasers.
It's like if you know one person who died and you know who they are, but then you're like, 2,000 people died, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Like, I just need to know this thing.
Yes, there's no way to fathom that much, and there's even other stuff earlier when they have infiltrated Atlantis and blown shit up.
Right.
There's like a big, it's essentially like an underwater train for some fucking reason that goes off the tracks. But they don't do the smart thing and like spend, 30 seconds at the beginning of the scene having like 2 kids get on the underwater train and going, oh, we're going to go
ride in the train today.
We're going to go to Underwater Zoo and see the underwater ponies. And then we can see the underwater otters and then they don't show any of that shit.
No.
You just see a big weird thing and it falls off the thing.
There's people in there.
And he has to stop it.
Yeah.
And we don't know if anybody lives or dies inside.
Yeah.
It's just like, well,
okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys say.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely some of that. I think I didn't have as much of a problem with it because I like towards the beginning I was like, I'm going to treat this like one of those memes. It's like, pay attention to the video and see if you can. I'm gonna like have this amount of focus on this thing.
I'm gonna play Where's Waldo.
Yeah,
with
so
all
I was
of the
like,
characters.
Okay, I see where they're going.
Yeah,
and it helped. But if I wasn't paying attention, I'd just be like, this is just a tie-dye shirt.
Yes. That is all it is, and it sucks because it's like. There's obviously some style in it.
For sure.
And it's like a filmmaker who I like a lot.
Yeah.
But the nonsense and also the other half is just like if I could have like 3 movies that are like Malignant in the time he has to spend working on an Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
It's like a bummer that he has to do an Aquaman 2.
It does suck. I mean, I feel pretty good about the movie.
Yeah. I had a lovely time.
I mean, it was pretty fun. I mean, one of the things that I really like, one of the reasons why I like underwater movies, period, is just sound design. It's almost always good. Because even if you just put like just water sounds, I'm like, fucking nailed it, brothers. You got it. You got it. So this one had some really cool stuff. Yeah. I feel like cooler than the first one. Like, and we both even looked at each other when this happened, but they used like the right channel at one point, big time after this huge explosion, and just had this
really
little
cool
sound happening up on the right.
Yeah.
And it sounded great. It just had a really cool effect.
It was
really simple.
Cool. I think it was when he gets like blasted with the sound ray.
Oh, that's right.
And like the like some kind of that thing kind of like travels over to the right channel. And especially we were in the big IMAX theater, so like the right channel was like 50 feet away from us. Yeah. So it was just like, whoa, it was really awesome.
I thought that was cool.
Shit like that is awesome.
It's great. I mean, I think that like when I'm at home, I usually am listening to rain sounds. Hot tub sounds.
Hot tub sounds?
Yeah, hot tub sounds are really good, actually.
Do you listen? Is it like girls who are like,
yeah. It's just like real world people partying and stuff.
You fucking bitch!
Yeah. But like I listen to that stuff all the time, so I think just seeing a movie that always has that bubbly tone, I'm just like, yes, I feel good now.
Yeah.
I'm at my home in the sea.
Do you listen to ASMR, but it's people like, hey, Gary, how are you doing?
I should. I might check that out. There's probably some good stuff. I'll see if there's a El Topo ASMR. Or not El Topo, Topo.
That would be different.
Yeah.
I thought of another good thing. I regret to inform you. Wait, what was the other good thing? I have forgotten another good thing.
Okay.
So it's time for you to tell me your low man.
You know what's funny is like I couldn't really think of anything that really bothered me.
Yeah.
There were this is just me being rude, but just no, I won't even trash Nicole Kidman. Everybody's got plastic surgery these days.
That's true.
But I felt kind of bad for her because I was like, man, I'm sure like Stanley Kubrick's just laughing at her having to do this shit from his grave, being like, I got her. I did exactly what I set out to do.
It is weird. I mean, she looks like a space alien now.
Yeah.
Which is weird. It's just weird.
It is. Yeah, I think it bums me out when I see anybody do that.
Yeah.
But the thing that I didn't like, there was one line, and usually these kind of movies bug me because of the fucking Marvel type humor and stuff.
Yes.
The humor did not bother me much in this movie.
It wasn't very Marvel-y. I mean, there was times when it was like dumb.
Yeah.
But it wasn't trying to be like yeah.
Right, yeah.
Hey man,
yeah.
It's not like that. It's just like what if an idiot wrote a script?
It wasn't as sarcastic as a lot.
No.
That's what I liked. I hate that snark shit.
No one in it is like, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. But there was one line that that for some reason stood out to me and I didn't like, and it's when him and his brother were like or someone told him that like his wife was kidnapped or like something like that, and he goes, I'm gonna rip his tongue out of his ass. And I was just like, that's not a good line, guys.
What does that mean?
Because for what it did to me is I was like, how would you rip a tongue out of an ass?
Yeah.
You know, so I started doing the math in my head, and they're already on to another thing. And it was supposed to be this like, oh no, the stakes are high moment.
Yeah.
And he's like doing this like little comic relief thing. And I was like, you guys, we've already established he's a goofball. You can leave this out here.
Yes. I thought of the good thing that I was about to think of. Or was I about to think of a bad thing?
You were thinking of a good thing. Yeah.
I thought of the good thing.
Okay.
The moments that feel like the most Momoa-y are many of my favorite moments in the movie. And one of the most is the fact that like hanging loose is what saves them.
Yeah.
Like his brother has taken the trident and he's being taken over by the evil power of the evil king. and Aquaman grabs the trident as well, and they're inside of the evil zone, and they're talking to each other, and he's just like, "Hey, brother,
Yeah.
I love you, man. I'm so glad that
Yeah.
it's been such a special time spending time with you. We should go get a beer sometime." Like, it's,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck he says, but the feeling is,
Yeah.
we should go get a beer and a burger sometime. And like a single tear is falling down his cheek, and it feels like total hang loose shit. And you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, get him,
Man.
get him with the power of chill vibes.
Vibes, man. Vibes 2024, baby.
He vibes him to death.
That's why I like him. Is like there's a simplicity to like people like that where
Yes.
I feel like a lot of times people who are really depressed will like think they're really intelligent because they're like analyzing the situation and it's so bad and da da da.
Yeah.
And then the dumb guy will just be like, "Man, let's fucking party, dude."
Yeah.
And it's like, and that guy can fix a smart guy who's having a problem,
Yes.
with his stupidity. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it's nice to it's just fucking vibes, dude. Hang loose. I mean, he is the hang loose in a person for sure.
And then he uses his hang loose vibe against his brother. And then what he does is he grabs the black trident and he throws it at the king.
Yeah.
But the king, you know what? He catches that shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, he didn't win. And then he switches it because we've gone from hang loose to badass,
Right.
which is my other favorite part. He grabs his own completely badass trident and throws it, and it blasts through the black trident, and it completely decimates the evil king.
Just totally cucked.
Yeah, yeah. He got completely
trident
cuckolded.
cucked,
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
yeah. It was good stuff.
I mean, it just looked cool going through it. And I was so happy to see that it just got settled right there.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, this guy better not bring an army and do this shit again. I was like, I hope he just dies right here.
Yeah.
And thank God he did.
He did.
Yeah.
Also, Black Manta has kind of a good end.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Because, like, old Jason Momoa is like, the Black Mantis is like falling in this hole. And Jason comes up and he's like, "Dude, hang loose on me, man. Like, fucking bro, grab my hand.
Hang off with my fucking pinky, dude.
You just see his hand,
That's
like
pinky
the pinky
swear,
come down.
dude. He pulls him out.
Yeah. And so he's like going to attempt to save him.
Yeah.
Because he felt guilty about leaving his dad and causing all this stuff to happen. because
And
of
also, he realizes that so much of the stuff that Black Manta did was because he was fucking cursed.
that. Yeah.
I mean,
for
he
sure.
was still an asshole.
Yeah.
And he probably still would have
still-
tried to fight Aquaman, but he wouldn't have tried to kill his baby. Like, he didn't seem like he was that kind of guy.
No, for sure. So, he's trying to help him reach for his hand, and he says, "Fuck no," and lets go and falls into the pit.
What does he actually say?
I can't. Not a chance, or something like that.
It's essentially fuck no.
Yeah,
And then he just falls to his death.
yeah, and
That's cool.
I thought that was it was cool. It was a good decision.
Yeah.
I mean, because part of me would have even enjoyed if he was like, "You're right, I went crazy back there, and I'm." It's fine that you killed my dad, like, because it's like, what closure would there really be?
Yes.
So it was much more cool
Yeah.
for him to just do that. Because then also Aquaman has to deal with the guilt of that still.
Yes.
And that guy kind of got revenge in a way
Yeah.
by killing himself.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And, oh boy, I think I've only said good things about this movie.
I'm mostly positive on it, man. I know what I
okay.
was getting into.
I have two more positive things. A funny joke and then a callback to the funny joke.
All right.
Aquaman is teaching his brother Orm the magic of the land. And what he does is he grabs a big cockroach. He says, "Oh, you got to try it. It's the shrimp of the land."
Uh-huh.
And Orm takes a bite of the head. And he goes, And then he just eats the rest of it.
Yeah.
Funny bit.
Yeah.
Later, Orm is eating a big fat burger. He's like, He's making a yummy face. And then he sees another cockroach. He slaps it down on the burger, takes a big crunchy bite, and he's like, That's just a simple bit.
Yeah.
Called back very, very simply. They don't try too hard. Yeah. They don't do it 3 or 4 times. It's just, this is pretty funny. Let's bring it back later. And that's it.
And I was proud of him for the restraint he showed at being kind of subtle about his face.
Yes.
Because in other movies, he would have been like, rubbing his tummy and shit.
Me like cockroach.
Oh, more cockroaches, please.
Waiter, could I have the cockroach surprise?
So it was not. It was nice. It's weird to say that Aquaman was a restrained movie at times, but it somehow was.
It truly is.
Yeah.
Almost no other time in the movie is it restrained.
No.
But in that time.
In that moment.
It's wonderful.
Because you got a real actor. I mean, he's
a real
good.
Actor. Whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tone
Loke.
Jombelson.
It's
Tone Loke.
Yeah.
Let's do the wild thing. I'd like to have another one of those cockroach hamburgers, please. Is that a good Tone Loke impression?
I think it sounds like him.
But we can't only talk about Aquaman 2.
No.
We gotta talk about all the other movies we watched, which brings us to a segment called Panda Express presents Express Yourself about the movies you watched this week. Play that theme.
Ding 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 ding. It's time for the Panda Express because we have some things to express about the things we watched this week.
You actually watched something this week.
I did watch a movie.
Tell me all about it.
Pretty Things, Poor Things. Sorry, I couldn't remember that. For some reason, I was thinking Pretty Little Liars, and I was like, no, it was Poor Things. Poor Things, starring that girl from Superbad.
Yeah.
It's got Willem H. Dafoe in it. It's got
one of the best.
Mark Buffalo in it.
Yes.
And I seriously, like, it's probably in my top. It might be my top 5 movies of the year.
Wow.
I think so.
Higher than Turtles?
Higher than Turtles. I've seen 5 movies, so it's doing pretty good.
How is it higher than Turtles? That's impossible.
It's hard to put
it can't
above.
Be better than Turtles.
It's its own thing, man.
Okay, I'll watch it.
I'll just say I was in the theater and I was going with a coworker and I knew nothing about the movie and I'm sitting there and like within the first 5 minutes I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, we're going into it. Like,
okay.
I haven't felt scared of a movie in a while, and scared as in like, they're going to show shit that people are going to be very upset with.
Oh, cool.
And people are going to walk out.
Hell yeah.
Like, it felt kind of like when a sex scene comes on in a movie when you're watching it with your parents when you're a kid, and you're like, I'm just like, oh, fuck, what's going on? And it was like, every scene was like that.
Wow.
And I loved it. It was super funny.
Well, shit.
Super gross.
Okay.
Very violent.
Yeah.
Just great.
Sounds amazing. You talked me into it. I'll watch it.
2 thumbs up. Poor
2
Things.
thumbs up. Check it out.
Pretty Poor Things.
Pretty little Poor Things. Well, I watched many movies this week, but the one I will feature is David Fincher's The Killer.
Oh, yeah.
I finally got around to it.
Really?
I got a new TV. I got Netflix for a month so I could watch The Killer and maybe like 1 or 2 movies, and then that's
just
it.
Cancel it.
That's basically all that is on there. And I liked it.
Okay. I need to see it.
It's pretty good.
I figure I'll watch it at some point.
It is... dedicated listeners to the show know that I think Mank is a piece of shit, and I will never watch it again. And I'm just so glad that Fincher has made a movie that is like his movies.
Yeah.
He was just like, hey, if I wanted David Fincher to make a movie in my head, and I was like, I don't know, there's a murderer.
Yeah.
That's what I would want him to do.
Right.
Is a movie about a guy who murders people. And that it's good. That's what he should always be doing. There's a really great fight scene between Little Man and Big Man, so that's always good. Little Man, Big Man fight scene. Music's pretty awesome. It's more Trent.
Yeah.
We love our boy Trent.
He's killing it in soundtracks lately.
It is one of the most fake looking, like it's digital.
Right.
and it looks insane.
Really?
Like, it's the most digital looking thing I've ever seen. It's really weird. Like, it's unnerving how kind of weird and fake and digital it looks.
Interesting.
Like, it's not that CGE. Like, there's some stuff as always, but
he does a lot of like architecture. And
yeah,
stuff.
he likes that kind of stuff. But it just looks fucking weird.
Huh.
It's obviously a choice. It's
Yeah,
a thing he decided to do, but it looks insane.
I'll have to watch it.
The moment you turn it on, it's just like, what the fuck is this? It's crazy.
It's like normal frame rate, right? Like it's
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really weird looking.
Okay.
And it's a weird choice, but I like it. It definitely made me uncomfortable. Like, the way it looked made me feel weird and bad.
I'll watch it because I already wanted to see it, but now I really want to see it because I want to see what you're talking about.
Tweet at us if you think I'm wrong. If you think the movie looks great.
Your TV's just fucked up.
Yeah. I did get a new TV.
Yeah.
But I watched I watched Gremlins this week, and it looked amazing as always. Did I watch anything else this week? I don't know. I've watched regular movies, and they looked regular.
Okay. It's probably not the TV then.
I don't think it's... If it is the TV, it might be me. Tweet at us if you think I'm a big dummy and that I should hurt myself. But not to death, but just like hit my knee with a hammer or, I don't know, put a fish hook into my cheek or something. Whatever you want me to do. Actually, tweet at. I will do it on camera for the podcast, and I'll hurt myself if you want me to.
Just trident to the head.
Yes, I will put a trident through my head. I'll put the black trident together, the two pieces, and I'll put it through my head. Just for you, the audience. Gary, any final thoughts about Aquaman 2 or life?
I'll be going back tomorrow night to see this movie again.
I'm going right now. I'm pressing stop, and then I'm going to see the movie again.
But you might like this movie. You might hate it. I
Yeah.
only like it because I like water sounds. So that's my review.
If you liked the first movie, you will in all likelihood like this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And if you didn't like the first movie, you will hate this movie because it is the same. It's a very much similar thing.
Yeah, if you like the first one, you would not be disappointed by this.
If you like to have a dumb time, then you'll have a dumb time with this, a fun dumb time.
Yeah.
But if you're like, oh, well, I saw Poor Things and it's the finest movie.
No, it's not fine at all. It is not distinguished.
Oh, disgusting.
It's a brutish movie.
It's a pig movie. Check it out.
Yeah.
On behalf of Gary Fletcher,
Hang loose, brother.
on behalf of Gary Hang Loose Fletcher, I'm Sean Parrott, wishing you a wonderful new year, and gosh darn it, thank you so much for watching all year.
Bon Aquatit.
Yes, Bon Aquatit. On behalf of Gary Fletcher, I'm Sean Parrott saying Bon Appetit.